we're joined here with Samuel, the creator of All About the Mackenzies. Would you mind telling us a bit about yourself?
Oh boy, where do I start? My name is Samuell Benta. I'm 27 years old. I act, write, direct, I rap. Like you said, I've produced my own show, All About the Mackenzies. I'm also a father of a 4-year-old daughter. And what else can I say, really?
How did you get into producing and writing All About Mackenzie?
Okay, I can talk for a while on this. I'll try and keep it brief. But originally, that wasn't supposed to be the plan. I started off with acting. I've done some acting stuff for TV. And I saw that, that I wasn't seeing a lot of positive black representation on television. Everything that I saw was either stereotypes, or if there was anything on TV that had a black family, it was American shows. There was nothing that was British that was out there. And at the time, I think the last thing I saw that was on TV that had a black family was a BBC program called The Crouches. And I just thought, I'm tired of my agent calling me up saying, oh, there's an audition for this and that. And every time he had called me up or she had called me up, there was certain categories of the roles that were given. Like, the person would either be on an estate or something gang related, drug related. Everything was just kind of stereotyped, and I just thought to myself, hold on a second, how am I supposed to grow with my profession if I'm only doing the same kind of stuff? So then, that compounded with a situation I was going through with my daughter at the time, and her mum. I kind of combined all of that, and I wanted to create a show that was going to bring back family values, a show that was going to make some sort of change in the way black people are represented in a more positive light, a more positive scale. And I wasn't supposed to be the only writer originally. I was looking for other writers, I was looking for a director, I was looking for a producer, and eventually I ended up doing it all myself, but there was a reason that I was doing it all myself. I'm glad I chose that option, but I've been let down by a lot of people that show interest, or because you're not a name, no one wants to know who you are or want to work with you or invest in you, etc. So, I think the question was, why did I write it?
Yeah.
Why did I write it? Well, I think I've kind of answered that. I mean, we didn't have anything out there that was like that. There was nothing I couldn't see myself on screen, and I was fed up of the stereotypes, and I said some change had to be made, so I had to make a decision within myself to make that change for any change to happen. So that's basically why I created it.
You said that there's not that much British, positive British show. So would you define yourself as a Tyler Perry in Britain?
Do you know what? There was someone else who said that to me. I mean, I like Tyler Perry's stuff. Like I said, originally I wasn't meant to do all of that. Obviously, I've heard his story. My story is not like that. I mean, we all have different stories. We all have different backgrounds, experiences and stuff. But he's an inspiration to me, but I couldn't say I'm a British Tyler Perry. No, I'm Samuell Benta, but I can understand why people would say I'm like that, because that's the reference that they look at because of the different roles that I've played in making such a show. I class it as a compliment, though.
What challenges did you face, and how did you overcome those challenges?
This is quite lengthy. There's been a lot of challenges. In fact, most of this information can be found in the ebook that I wrote, which is a free download. It's called How to Create a Successful Web Series That Sells. But I can mention some things to you which come to my mind, but not all of them. There was a lot. I mean, for example, obviously I direct the show. That wasn't how it was supposed to be. I was looking for a director. There was one director I spoke to back in the day, early days, and I think she didn't turn up on a workshop day where I wanted cast to do rehearsals. She actually just did not show up, so I then had to find somebody else. This person was, I think she had just finished university, and she agreed to direct, etc. We filmed one day. This was before series 1. In fact, actually, no, I'll come back to that. Before series 1, there was a pilot series which no one really knows about because it's not on YouTube or anything. Long story short, the director basically quit on me on the day of filming, and I was put in a position where I had to direct it myself. I didn't really know what I was doing, and it all got done in the end, but well, that comes to my next obstacle, where my whole pilot series, after everything that got filmed, all the hard work I put in it, it all got stolen. There was a cameraman that I found on a Recruit website, and this guy, I had paid him some money. It was him and a sound guy that I had got. And obviously back then I was brand new to this. I didn't know a whole load of stuff. I was just a guy that wanted to create a change with a show. And he had filmed everything, and then next thing I know, I'm contacting this guy because I want all of my stuff that was filmed. Not answering calls, not answering texts, not answering emails. I went down to the studio. No one was there. Up to this date, I don't even know where that guy is. So that was one of the earliest major obstacles. Everything I had worked towards was completely gone, and it was like, oh my gosh, well, what do I do now? Because you've got all your cast who have come out of their way for free, all of their time to come and do something, and then it's just completely gone. So obviously, if anyone was in that situation, they would be gutted. I was gutted, yeah. And then I ended up, I didn't know what to do. I just stopped, and a good 7 months went by. And then I had a phone call from one of my friends who just came back from LA. She did an actors workshop out there, and she told me that the Hollywood Black Film Festival was coming up. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll go. So I had some money saved up from E20, and then I flew out there, and this was where I was introduced to what a web series was. I never knew what a web series was before I went to LA. And then I met a founder of an LA web festival out there, told him my story of what had happened with the stuff that got stolen. And then he was basically saying, look, Sam, you gotta come out here, man. You gotta do a web series, man. You don't get that online. You never know what could happen, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, right, you're telling me I gotta go through that whole process again, getting the actors to come out, and what am I gonna do about crew, and et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, okay. He said, yo, man, you gotta enter it into the festival in April 2012, man. Submissions March the 6th. So I thought, okay, I had a deadline to get stuff out and done, filmed, and send it out there, submit it to the festival. So I had to find new crew, obviously. There was a guy who contacted me who had just finished university. I knew he was probably going to be genuine, because you've just finished uni and you want to get out and expose yourself, do some work. So I could talk for ages on this, but I'll just round it up and say I ended up getting the first series done, which is what you see on YouTube. Some cast members I had to recast. There was a dad and a sister. I had a different dad and a sister. So I had to do a recasting, and we got it done. I went back out to LA, and I won an award in the festival for it, and the rest was history. Any more obstacles to tell you? Well, after the first series, I had a lot of people contact me saying, Sam, this is great, blah, 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 because no one knew a web series was. This was kind of just something that was online that just kind of made sense. So, basically, after it had gone out online, some people were saying to me, oh, Sam, you know what? I really think this should go for TV. But TV was my intention. That's what I wanted originally. And after I had heard that, I was contacting networks, emails, sending them a link to a trailer, a link to the first episode. I was sending them all over the place. No surprise that some people didn't get back to me. I did have some people get back to me. I even had Nickelodeon get back to me, but they were saying how, in fact, this one guy that got back to me actually gave me some advice. He said, it's great what I've done, and not a lot of people do what I've done. He said, next time when you're filming, make it TV length, which would fit in a half an hour slot, including advertisements, so 22, 23 minutes. That little piece of information, I took aboard for series 2, yeah? CBBC, I went to CBBC because a lot of mums were telling me their kids were liking it, and at that time, I didn't know where the direction of the show was going. Was I gonna go more of the children's route? I don't know. So I thought, okay, let me just contact them anyway. They contacted me back the same day that I had contacted them, and they wanted a meeting. So I went to BBC Manchester. I went over there. I was speaking to them about it. It was 2 middle-aged white women execs in CBBC. I'm not going to say their names. But yeah, they was like, the show's great, but the show's too black. So I was like, okay, well, they're a black family. What do you expect? So I kind of sat there like, right, okay. Anyway, they were more interested on the little girl of the show, who was 10 years old at the time. So I understand that. So I thought, okay, that's not an issue. I can make a show idea for around the little girl, like a spin-off sort of thing. So I thought that would have been a great way to tie in the show. I sent them an idea. They really liked it. Everything was all good. And they said, yeah, we really think this is going to be a big thing on CBBC. So I thought, okay, cool. They said they needed to pass it on to their controller. So I waited patiently. Next thing I know, I get an email saying a controller, they changed controllers or something. Someone else got employed, and my idea went completely out the window. And I was gutted, really, really gutted. So that didn't happen. There was someone else I had who was kind of helping me along. She was getting me to think more along the ideas of the business side of things, and she was helping me out. And she was going to introduce me to some investors for possibly funding a next series. Had a meeting with the investors, everything was all good. But when she found out her investors weren't interested, I got the idea that she wasn't interested because she had no more interest in me anymore. And I'd built trust in this person for months, and I was gutted. I was left flat on my face once again. So it's been a constant loop the loop. There's so many obstacles. I can't explain all of them to you, but if you read the ebook, you'll see some of the stuff, well, all of the stuff that went on. But I can talk about more, but
You said something about the producer saying that your film is too black. So how did you feel when she said that to you? And do you think that's always going to be an obstacle that you're going to have to overcome? That it's too black enough or doesn't fit into the white audience? So how would you work around that? How would you get past that issue?
Well, it's funny how you can say to me a white audience, you know, we're in the UK, predominant white culture, right? But if you look at the statistics, you know, I think from last time I checked, you know, we've got probably about 2 million black people in the UK. 64% of those are in London itself, and as you go further north, they kind of just scatter. But yet you have a show like EastEnders, which is very popular, but you have more black people watching EastEnders than white people. It was very, very interesting when I got those statistics from one, I think his name was Marcus Ryder. I think he works in current affairs for BBC Scotland. And when those statistics were introduced to the Caribbean Invisibility Seminar, which was held at Dominica High Commission in December, it gave me a whole new insight into where we're at in terms of the way we're thinking. And, you know, it was really, really interesting. But for the woman to say it was too black, I thought, you know, just run that question by me again. Sorry.
How did you feel when she used that it's too black, the program's too black?
How did I feel? Well, I kind of just, you know, I wouldn't say I had a feeling about it. It was kind of, okay, well, when you look at stuff on TV right now, it's like you hardly see anything black orientated anyway. So it wasn't a surprise for me to hear that. But my main concern is, if you don't have an all-black cast on TV and there's nothing for black people to look at, it could be the seed cause of a whole load of dramas you see for a whole heap of stuff. Crime, behavior problems at school and whatnot. Because you have to understand, what are we looking at? Where's our positive representation? Where's our positive role models? All we're being fed at is that we're on the States, or we're gangs or thugs or hoodies, or, you know, all this negative stuff. And, you know, if that's all we see, what other image is given to us? Where are it's like if you know, get all these, or anything to do with Africa, they will project the negative stuff that's going on in Africa. They don't show you the successful businessmen in Africa. You know, they only show you the poverty or the starving kids and stuff like that. These are all negative images. I don't know how deep you want me to get with talking to you, but I can blatantly say what I'm seeing at is hypnotism, and it's keeping us as black people in a box, controlled, not knowing about ourselves, and that's exactly where we stay. And the problems seem to keep increasing. You know, you've got single parents on the rise. What has happened to the family unit? Like, when was the last time that a family sat at a table to eat dinner together? When was the last time a family sat down to play a board game together and have some fun? Everyone's kind of scattered. You know, I love social media. I love the technology that has come out to help us, but no one's having a conversation because they're on their iPad or they're on their phone. No one's talking. Communication has gone kind of down in terms of one-on-one interaction, me talking to you. Yeah, we can send a message to Facebook to our cousin in Antigua. Yeah, that's nice. But one-on-one interaction, that human connection, where is that? Because we've become so dependent on all these external devices. Where is the human connection, you know? Like I said, I'm not condemning technology. Otherwise, we can't get our stuff out there. But in terms of communication one-on-one, it's kind of lost. And there's this sense of we don't really know how to deal with each other anymore because we're too much on our devices. You go on the tube or a bus, you count how many people are on their phones or on their iPads. No one talks to each other. Everyone's scared to look each other in the eye. And if you do look someone in the eye, you have to quickly look down. You know you've done it. No one talks to each other. It's this constant low vibration of fear. I've probably stemmed away from your question, but I'm kind of just going with the train of thought because, you know, there's a lot to explain,
So what motivates you and keeps you going? Because obviously you've been through a lot of things such as setbacks, struggles, and on top of having comments made to you such as this program's too black, what keeps you going? What motivates you to keep pushing forward to get that breakthrough?
Okay, quite a few things. First of all, belief in myself keeps me going forward. Belief in myself that, you know, I know I'm talented. I know I can do this, I can do that. Knowing that I don't need to depend on another to tell me I can or can't do something, because I know I can do it. I've proven it to myself. My daughter's also a motivation as well. Knowledge keeps me grounded. And when I say knowledge, I mean, you know, I've read a lot of personal development books. I've been through an experience. There's a lot, in fact, there's another one as well. There's a lot we're not taught in school. A lot we are not taught, purposely, I might add. And you know, when you start getting into that frequency of thinking, it's like you begin to know what truth really is. Because to be honest, we really do need to just operate in love, not the opposite direction. What do most people want to watch? We want to watch something that's drama. It's like you want to watch people argue. You have to ask yourself, why do you want to watch that?
Reality shows.
Why are we so attracted to negativity? Because, you know, you're only going to resonate with that. And when I say resonate, I can step it up a notch and drop some science on you if you want. But look at all the movies that come out. Look at all the propaganda, all the billboard posters, all the trailers for films and stuff. Let's start with film billboard posters. Most of them, even the names, it's all fear related. Prisoners, no one lives, vendetta. All this death kind of movies, yeah? Most billboard posters, you've got some guy holding a gun, fear in his eyes. Everything's kind of one direction. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But you will never get that billboard poster of happy black people. Everyone's all negative. I think the only thing you'll probably see with black people with a smile on their face is advertising some stand-up comedy on a billboard poster, and it's advertising some stand-up comedy in your local theater or whatever. But people, you know, we get given so much information through the media, the press. Don't even get me started on the press, because there ain't no happy stuff in there. Why am I seeing an Evening Standard? Gangs, this, gangs. People are dealing with things too much on the surface, too much on a superficial level. And if you can take the analogy of a tree. We can blatantly see a tree, right? You can see a fruit that grows from a tree. We spend so much time trimming off leaves and picking off fruit, and it always keeps growing back. Why? Because you ain't dealt with the root. Whatever is the seed, whatever is the root, will always come to the surface. Humanity, society does not learn. You can create all these little organizations, or we're gonna do this, and this is how we're gonna help. Yeah, that's cool, but you're still dealing with it on a superficial level. The problems will come back because the root is still there. This is what people don't get. What will actually liberate people from a whole load of stuff is knowledge of themselves and how they work. More importantly, how do you think? We're not taught how to think, we're taught what to think. Why? People don't ask questions. I said in a seminar the other day, yeah, people never thought to ask this question. You know the story of Cinderella, right? If Cinderella's shoe fit perfectly, why did it fall off in the first place? No one asked that question, but I'll ask that question, because people just believe what is given to them. No one asks questions. If you don't ask questions, you don't get no answers. It's kind of, yeah, I'll accept that, boom, done, move on. there's lots of things out here that is here to teach us a lesson, like, you know, laws of nature. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're not here to stay stagnant in a box. And what did that person achieve throughout their life? Probably nothing. So if that person didn't achieve nothing, then how are we moving forward? You know, we're in a society where, oh, I'm all about myself and I'm going to do this, be successful and move on. Or we seem to have this paradigm of thinking where there's not enough opportunities for everyone. But the truth is, there's more than enough for everyone. People need to create their own opportunity, and then a world of possibilities is opened up for you. Now that's abundance for you. That's a universal law. The same as if you throw a ball in the air, it's going to fall down. But because we're not taught this information, we're in ignorance. And people capitalize on your ignorance. People make money off your ignorance. You're being told constantly, buy this, buy this, buy this, do this, sign up for this now, da-da-da-da-da-da. And you know what? They'll make you believe it's all right. Why? Because there's a guy going like this in a poster, and they will go and buy it. Do you know what I mean? Probably some jackass that was probably an actor, you know? And they'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go buy that. But the truth is, it's like, they'll tell you this is the solution to your problem. Or girls, if you don't buy that weave, ain't no guy's gonna want you. Or if you don't fit in a size 8, boy, don't even think about kids, boy, no man's gonna look at you. Or if you don't buy these new shoes, they're selling you something. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like you feel these things are now a part of you. It's like, I know a girl that won't even step out of her house if she ain't got makeup on. Very, very insecure. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's like, it's crazy. You have these attachments to all these things. But you have to ask, why do you have this attachment to all these things? Once again, I may have gone off your question, but this is all very relevant. Because people think, oh yeah, Sam created a web series. Woo! No, there's depth to why this is being done. Like there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of purpose behind what I've done. Like my purpose, you know, it's for people to grow in their consciousness, for them to realize that, you know what, you are great, you can do this. You know, just because you failed at school doesn't mean that's it. No, it's not. You look at all the greatest people, they ain't even had school, or they had little school. You know? But they tapped into something else within them, and they thought, yeah, you know what? One thing they had was faith and belief to actually get on with an idea and create it. That's why you benefit driving your car. That's why you benefit flying to another country. You know, someone invented that. Someone invented a plane. Someone invented a car. You'd be naked in front of me right now if no one thought of those clothes. You know? Someone built this university. The people that are watching this interview are watching it on a device that someone thought of. You wouldn't have light if it wasn't for a person that thought of a light. You know, he failed over 10,000 times, and we benefit with light. Without light, you wouldn't be able to watch TV, you wouldn't have a light switch, you wouldn't have most of the technology that's out there. People don't look at these things. We're born in this world, and we just kind of get on like rats in a maze, but no one uses their brain to actually look at what is actually around us. Because you tell me now, if I'm wrong, tell me something no one's ever thought of.
I don't know.
Exactly, because everything's thought of. Even that pad you're writing on, the device you're recording from, trainers I got on, the boom pole that's recording my audio.
But it's not all about investment. So how would you say to a young person who's got ideas, how do they go about getting someone to invest in them if they're starting from nothing in the beginning? That must be something hard to get over. You can't just, you might have an idea, but it's not so easy to just go out there and do it and put it into action. So what advice would you give to young people about getting invested in or raising money, or how they go about, you know, making a name for themselves?
That's understandable. I'll tell you what doesn't cost money: an idea. It doesn't cost money to write something down, which is the first step. It doesn't cost money to share your ideas with people. My first series was done on no money. There are actors that will do stuff for free because they want to move forward. There are people that have equipment who may have just finished university or something that want to get out there. That's how the first series started. What you see on YouTube, the first series, wasn't done on any budget. But it was a starting point, otherwise you wouldn't have series 2. It wouldn't be on TV. But if you look back, it started on no money. So if you do have an idea, do yourself a favor, write it down and make a decision with yourself and say, I'm gonna get on with something and I'm gonna do this. The most important thing though, you can't give up on that one idea. Don't give up on that. If you give up on it, it will be like not watering a seed. And if you don't water a seed, it won't grow. It really, really won't. And just people think too much of how's this all gonna happen. I need to know how's this gonna happen. I need that roadmap. It's like, okay, I know I need this. Maybe there are some things that I don't need. I don't know. And you think so much about how everything's gonna happen, you don't get started. That means that idea is now gone. Next thing you know, down the line, someone else thought about it and it's like, oh my goodness, I thought about that. If only I believed in myself and stuck with it. Ignorance. Don't give up on it. Actually believe in yourself and continue to be on that path. I'm telling you now, if you take the first step, the second step will show up, then the third step. The way this whole universe operates, it's synchronicity. The people you meet, the people you start to meet, it's like you don't tell me you've never ever had a time where you thought of someone and then they just happened to be on the street or they called your phone.
Yeah, it's happened.
Of course, it's always happened because that's a law of synchronicity. Everyone you meet, there's always a reason why you've met that person. That person is going to help you at the next puzzle, at the next piece to your puzzle of where it is that you're going. Because we all have some sort of direction. Everything's going in one direction. Everything's like waves and cycles. Everything's going round, It's just like if it starts raining, the floor gets wet. Sun comes out, dries it up, evaporates, goes in the clouds, rains, floor gets wet, sun comes out, water evaporates, goes in the clouds. It repeats. Nothing dies.
So what advice would you give to young people? Because at this moment, unemployment rates going up, tuition fees have gone up. There's a lot of young people feel disheartened. They don't feel like they can do much of their life right now. There's less jobs out there. They're feeling discouraged, stereotypes. So what advice would you give to them to get up and go out and do what they feel passionate about and go chase their dreams? What would you say to them? Because you've been there, you've done it, and you're still doing it now. So what advice would you give to these young people?
Oh boy, what advice would I say?
Someone who has nothing and who's all been defeated, no education, who's grew up poor. What should they do?
There's a few things. Everyone has a different situation. I don't know. It could be a situation where you've got no parents. You could be in a care home. You may be disabled. Everyone is where they are at. Yeah, it's not impossible wherever you are at. The first starting point of the process of manifestation all begins with thinking. You have to. We're in a society where you can forget about this big idea. It just ain't gonna happen. And you'll probably get that from parents, friends. Why? Because this is how it is, right? This is life. Well, I can tell you that's complete nonsense. But in going back to your question, it all starts with thinking. First of all, you have to believe that what you want can actually happen. I know that's a bit out there. It may seem, this isn't an intellectual exercise. People need to start believing in themselves and believing it's possible and make a decision and say, this is what I want to do. Write this stuff down like it's goals on a piece of paper. Stick it on your wall. I know this might sound a bit weird, but just stick it on your wall. Read that to yourself every day. And wherever you are at, whatever your financial situation, get started on whatever it is you can to make that happen. Like, I don't know if it's a script or if it's a film you want to do, like, at least write the script. Or if you can't write the script, you can find someone else who may be a script writer. Hey, I wasn't a script writer. I learned to write a script, you know? And just get started on it wherever you are at. Don't think about how it's all gonna come to pass, you know, or where's the money gonna come from. You don't need to think about none of that. Just get started where you are. And I understand, you know, there's not a lot of help out there. Some people, you know, put on a front that they'll help you. That's complete nonsense, and they end up not doing anything. But, you know, I mean, there's a perception that may be built around me because Sam's done this, Sam's done that, and you know, hardly anyone asks me any questions. And you know what? I'll give you an answer if you ask me a question. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I am contactable. Like, you can actually speak to me. Or if there's a teacher who's watching this interview, you know, you can contact Sam and say, Sam, come speak to the students at my school, or come speak to the students at my college or university or at this care home, and blah, 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 blah. You know, these things can be done. A lot of people have this perception where because this person is, you know, of a certain blah, 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 it's like, he ain't gonna be interested in us. What, you know, why is he gonna want to do a community project, or why is he going to want to speak to us or do anything for us? Ask questions. You don't ask, you don't receive.
Thank you. So what next can we be expecting from you? What's your plans for the future?
Oh gosh, well, the future is infinite, but I'm in a week's time. I'm going to be filming the next series of All About the Mackenzie, series 3. And, you know, just like you've said about, where does a person get started? Well, this series, you know, I've got, I think, about 8 or 9 people that are doing work experience. You know, people struggle to get runner positions on top shows and stuff like that. You know, on Mackenzie's, you know, I've got like work experience opportunities where people can actually shadow me and see exactly what it is that I do. I mean, that's what I had done. I shadowed a director on EastEnders, which helped me so much. You know, I was able to actually do what I'm doing. So yeah, there's work experience for that. So that's All About the Mackenzies. The London Live launches March 31st, 2014. It's going to go on TV, so everyone's going to have access to that. So that's something that's coming up. For the future, well, whatever I say. I mean, you know, I want to progress with my acting. I want to be in big movies. I like action, you know. There will be other shows that I will want to create. I mean, there is one I'm thinking of at the moment, which I've written. It's for the kids, you know. It's one of those CBBC kind of markets. It's a working title at the moment. I haven't decided what that's going to be. Other ideas for different projects. I mean, ultimately, I want to have my own television and film studios, because it's all about independence and being less dependent on other people. That I've learned that throughout the journey I've had, by being dependent on people, everyone has kind of let me down. But one thing that's not let me down is myself, and I've managed to just get on with it and get results. And yeah. That's all I can say at the moment in terms of what is yet to come. But with what I've learned, many other opportunities can come your way that you never even thought of.
Thank you for doing this interview with Shoutout UK. We look forward to hearing a lot more from Samuel, and please do keep in contact with him, and I hope that everyone actually do watch this video, and we will be looking out for all about the Mackenzies, and thank you very much for your interview.
Okay.
Do you have any final words?
Any final words I'll say is, check out allaboutthemackenzies.com. I am going to be, going back to what you said about where people can get help and all of that, I'm going to be starting a blog soon where I'm going to be helping people. I've niched it down to actors, writers, directors, where I'm going to be helping them with how they can get started on a web series, how they can market themselves, and also how they can actually build a business online. And that blog is going to be webseriesking.com. If you go on it now, probably be under construction, but it's coming, and it's going to be big, and it will help out a lot of people that are completely oblivious to what the hell's actually going on. So check out for that.
Okay, thank you, Samuel, for agreeing to do this interview with Shoutout UK. And yes, please do check out his website and his ebooks and his up and coming All About the Mackenzies. Thank you.